I just want to go into a different section of our discussion here. So there's a couple of games I like to play with my guests during my Saturday
Oh,
conversation. One of them is called Choose Between Two. So Russ, pretty much how it works, I'm going to throw a um, two things against you. Two things to you. You have to choose between two of them. They're both in the same kind of wavelength, same kind of theme. But
sure.
I'm just curious which one you would choose and give me a little bit of a background as to why you would choose that one thing over the other.
Okay. Wow, this is the
All
test.
right.
Okay. Didn't know I had a
All
test this
right.
time of morning.
So we're going to start off with a doozy. It's got the better biblical epic movie, Ten Commandments or Ben-Hur.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna have to go with Ben-Hur just because I've watched it so many times. And you know what, that movie, because they've remade it a few times, obviously, over the years. And but the one going all the way back to the Charlton Heston one, well, actually both of them were involved, Charlton Heston, funny enough. But the film itself still holds up. I just find it fascinating. I know it's a different era, a different type of acting, and so there are elements that are still kind of, oh, you can maybe say cheesy from that time of that era. But like the chariot scene and so many
Mm.
other elements, and then also the narrative of Jesus, even though you never see his face kind of being throughout the whole story, which is a part of the original tale, I still think stands up to this day and still deserves credit for being one of the best films of all time. And that's not to knock on Ten Commandments. I do appreciate the Ten Commandments as a film and also what it was able to do, especially in its era. But I would probably have to say Ben-Hur would be my choice.
Yeah, I love Ben-Hur. One of our annual Easter watches is Ben-Hur in our
Right.
household. And people tend to forget that the original title of Ben-Hur is Ben-Hur, the Tale of Christ. So,
Right.
that's kind of the big thing there. Now I know that you not a fan of baseball, but I know you like baseball movies. And one of the
I
big
love
guys
baseball
in
movies. Yeah.
baseball movies is Kevin Costner. So I'm going to pick two Kevin Costner baseball movies: Bull Durham or Field of Dreams.
Oh, mate, don't do this to me. These are two of my comfort films. I love both of these movies so much. Ah, I do. I mean, because yeah, and then if you throw in Moneyball, which isn't a Kevin
Mm.
Costner film, I got it. That's another baseball movie that I absolutely love. Oh man, which one? Okay, I'm just gonna do this mainly for the sake of our family. I would have to say Field of Dreams just because it's a little bit more accessible to the broader audience as far as the family. Pretty much anybody could go and watch this movie and still enjoy it. I've been to the Field of Dreams, being from Iowa. I've been to the actual field, where they shot it all and all that sort of stuff. They open up the baseball season now there. And then on top of it, mate, I cry every single
Oh
time
yeah.
I've seen that film at the end. Man, the story of father and son is just so endearing. So I'll probably have to say it, but it's just barely because, man, I love Bull Durham because I mean Bull Durham, the writing in that film still is hard to top, even though it definitely has a lot of mature content in it. But
Mm.
I'm going to go with probably Field of Dreams to be the one that if I had to choose between the two.
Yeah, love Field of Dreams. One of my favorite films. It's up there definitely in the films that make men weep. Kind of like Pantheon. You've got that.
Yeah.
You've got Rocky and a bunch of others. Not surprisingly, a lot of sport films, but and war films as well, of course.
Sure.
Next one. All right, best big battle history epic film. Gladiator or Braveheart.
Oh, ooh. Okay, I'm being put on the spot. Oh my goodness, man, that's a hard one. That is a hard one. I thought that this would be okay. I'm gonna go with Gladiator. So I'm just gonna go with Gladiator. Um, Quotable quotes, great lines. One of my favorite directors. So I'll probably have to go with Ridley on this one. But it's hard to knock down Braveheart, even though Mel has had some tumultuous times over the years.
Mm.
I really probably have to go with Ridley and kind of go with Gladiator. And then on top of it, you got your Australian connection with Russell Crowe being in it, and Joaquin Phoenix was just fantastic as a villain. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. Gladiator's my choice.
Any trepidation regarding the sequel? Because Ridley Scott of late hasn't really been at his A game, and like a sequel for that film, everyone's been talking about. Yeah, are they ever going to make a sequel? And it's happening. They filmed it. It's coming out, and I don't know. I'm a little. I'm a little scared. I don't know what that's gonna be on the screen when we watch it.
Yeah, it's kind of the whole alien thing. I mean, at first
Mm,
Alien and then Aliens were fantastic, right? But then it's just gotten watered down over the years, and I'm sure there's been highs and lows. And the same with this. Ridley, yeah, it's amazing. You put him and Clint Eastwood up there and kind of go, man, these guys they're octogenarians and they're still making movies. I mean, this is incredible, and people still want to go see them. It's amazing. And so I'll hold out my judgment until we actually get to see the film. I mean, it looks like a great cast, and I hopefully it
yeah.
does do well. But yeah, Ridley Scott definitely. Well, one thing I'll give him though, this is one thing I love about him as a director, is he's willing to take the risks, and he's not going to sit there and go, well, even if it does bomb, at least I made the movie I wanted to make. And so that's what I do like about him. And he is, and every once, man, like The Martian. Whew, I mean,
Mm.
he's still, even later on in his career, still making great movies. So he could still do it. He could still pull it out. I'm hoping he does. But yeah, I definitely, there's a little bit of skepticism that kind of comes along with that.
Next one, physical media or streaming? So when I say physical media, DVD, Blu-rays, etc., are you more a proponent for that, or do you rather the streaming way of watching films?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably similar to, I would take it all the way back. I prefer cinema. So I prefer to see the movies in cinema because they're made for the movie screen. You're looking at Christopher Nolan's quotes, just we make it for the big screen. Why in the world
Yeah.
would you wait till it comes out on streaming? And so even though I still appreciate streaming, and it's not that I don't watch movies and television shows and all that sort of stuff, I appreciate it. But I guess the thing I really still like about the DVD and even VHS era is you owned it. You could go
Mm.
back and watch it at any time. Unfortunately, with the streaming, they kind of all of a sudden it just disappears. Like, yeah, we were going and searching for a classic film the other day, and you couldn't find it anywhere on any
Yeah.
streaming service. And so it also, I don't know about you, Matt, but I used to go and just sit in the used DVD section of, the all these different places and just go through. And when you find that golden nugget, it's just so much fun. And just be able to say, yeah, I got it. And look, I got it for $5. Can you believe this is great? And so I probably would say nostalgic wise, I'm going to have to probably pick the DVD or the physical choices. But also, I'm a huge proponent. You got to see the movies in the theaters to really appreciate them.
And speaking of theaters, so you're at the cinema, you sit down, what's your go-to cinema snack? Popcorn or candy?
Oh, I'm a popcorn guy. I'm more of the popcorn guy. I mean, I do enjoy it, and we do throw our M&Ms into the popcorn every once in a while, which is always good. But yeah, it's really not a movie for me if I don't have some popcorn. So I would definitely go popcorn over candy, probably, or lollies anytime.
Thank you for watching the Matt's Movie Reviews channel. Please subscribe for more reviews, podcast interviews, and exclusive content.